back out again, y'all, and we're now out on the Diablo. Wednesday dinner time. It's nearly coffee time for me, coming up for about 12 o'clock. Final test ride of customers red and white Diablo. Love those red brake calipers. Oh, excuse me. So, final test ride. And we shall see what we've done. We've done 7.5. I've got 2.5 to add, which is around the town. Let's go shopping and see what Bletchley is like on a Wednesday morning. And it is absolutely drizzly as hell, so the camera's probably going to get wet, but it's an Osmo. It's waterproof. We don't have those worries with the DJI Osmo 4 that you get with the GoPros and all the other cameras. And if you are thinking of motovlogging, just get yourself a DJI Osmo. You can't go far wrong with one of these. They're roughly around about 299 quid for a decent one for the Osmo 4, but the Osmo 1, 2, all the Osmo range are really good. The best thing with the Osmo 4, and I've now got 2 of them, so much so I went out and bought a second one. I used 2, one on the bike now facing back, and one built onto my LS2 Explorer Carbon with a chin mount. Very good company, chin mount. So they do all the chin mounts for every single helmet. You just tell them what helmet, they send you the chin mount, and that's mounted on my chin, so you get a good view of the road as I'm riding. The only thing is, obviously on the Tiger you see the dirty great big tank bag. I've got 18 litres of tank bag on the front of that. So through the camera we go, 30 mile an hour on the button. Now the gauge on this, around the top is your kilometres. Your miles an hour, a tiny little dial right down there. And as I always say, get yourself a little bit of Tipex or correction paint and just put some little dots on the screen for 30, 40 and 50. It's the easiest way to look down is my needle at the white dot, and then you know what you're doing. But don't like this Speedo at all, and the Titan was horrible. The Titan had an awful Speedo, white on silver. Whoever thought of that idea? And I'll say it as I see it. If I don't like something, I'll say it as I see it. I don't like that tiny little Speedo down there. So, a bit of white Tipex works every time. Let's just wipe the camera and give it a clean. There we go. It's drizzly this morning. And it's also blowing a breeze, as long as it is dry for tomorrow, which is Oakley Bike Club. And I don't really care if it's raining or not, because I go out in all weathers, especially with my Viper gear, which is the Guard Explorer gear. And thanks to Viper, there is that review coming. I will get round to finishing it off. I've just got so much video at the moment. I must have shot tons of footage from ABR, and it was all, by the time I got round to edit it, and it was like, let me just get a quick video up. I will do some more video of ABR, but obviously I'm taking my time with that one and get a nice video up. And I had to cut out, obviously, the phone call to Mrs. B from my ABR video. It's like, I'm on the way home, I'm soaking wet, I've got a bad back, winch, typical RB. And something to whine about. And more roadworks in Bletchley. And Mummy lives up there. Hello, Mummy. I did pop in to see my mum this week, and I shall probably pop in again tonight. Let me just adjust my mirror a little bit. There we go. Just set them up. Obviously been knocked in the workshop, but I've got a clear view of a nice little Ford Ranger behind me. That looks like a Raptor. It is a Raptor. And he's got a custom plate on it, P more A. Lucky I can read backwards. And you tend to find when you're sitting in traffic, you're looking at cars. That is an advisory notice for that rear number plate. Can still be read, but slightly delaminated. That'd be an advisory if I was doing an MOT. So while we wait for the lights to change, let me tell you a little bit about different bikes. So the Aura and the Diablo, very similar bikes. Now GB Patriot, who happens to be on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and everything, Jules, and he's also on our Motovloggers group, bought himself an Aura. And he said, what do you think of the Auras? I mean, they're a nice bike. Don't like the seat. And he went, what is that? He said, what do you think of the tyres? And I went, they're okay. They're Chinese tyres. They're great in the dry, but they're crap in the wet. You just have to slow it down when you're in the wet. They're not the best tyres in the world that you find on the Auras or the Diablos, Chinese tyres. If in doubt, change it out. Put some Pirellis, Dunlops or Michelins on. But I did say to him, the tyres are crap. And watch out for that hump of the seat, because it's a bit like the LSZ that Lexmoto have got out. It rubs your backside. He tried it and said, do you know what? I totally agree with you there. Yeah, that seat hump is an absolute faff. So he managed to get a Stanley knife and a screwdriver and pry the seat hump off of the seat. Bless him. And he's just put a little bit of a leather patch over the top to hide the holes in the seat, but he said it rides so much better with that. Why do they put a stupid little diagonal seat hump at the back of a seat just to stop you sliding backwards? It's not like you're going to be doing 100 miles an hour and sliding back on the seat like you are with something like an R1 or a ZX9. Yeah, stupid little seat hump. So that's been removed. The only downside that I don't like about the Auras, stupid seat hump that they do. And the same with the LSZ. Great bikes, but God, they're built for small people. But otherwise, they're okay. They're reliable. They run nice. Never had an issue with the Diablo or an Aura. And obviously, last week we had a phone call from Stuart. Now, Stuart has an XDV, and some little oik. And he's got it back now, but some little oik decided to try and steal his bike, and being a keyless bike, they've obviously cut into the right hand panel to try to get to the electrics. It will not work. You need the key fob. So they've obviously pinched it, tried to pull it all apart and wreck the bike. So that's on the way to us hopefully in a couple of days. It's got to get recovered into us, but it needs a shed load of new panels on it. So I feel really for Stuart, because he's put a lot of time and pride and joy into that bike, and someone's gone and pilfered with his bike. And there is a lot of bike theft going on in Milton Keynes at the moment. Everybody knows who it is. They have been named to the police multiple times, and the police turn around and go, oh well, we can't do much, mate, you need a crime reference number and just go to your insurance company. The police aren't interested. They know who it is, they know where they live. Go round and arrest the little oiks, but they won't. The police, oh no, we need proof, we can't do this, the CPS won't allow us to do. Their hands are tied. It's about time the bikers all got together, and I'm not condoning this, or I'm not an advocate of doing this, but my own opinion, maybe they should get all the bikers together, set up a bait bike or something, or find out where these little oiks are riding and go and give them a good kicking. I would. And you certainly wouldn't go messing with an MCC's bike. I'm just waiting for them to do that, to go and pinch an MCC's bike and just see what happens and the repercussions they get off the back of that. They will soon get a good beating. But bike theft is rife, and even if you put a disc lock on it, a chain or anything, they're still going to have a go. They're still going to try. Only way out of it, and shoulder check and out. Only way out of it is to obviously put a tracker on your bike and to take the coppers, right, your bike's been stolen, here's the tracker, track it to the house. But they normally go and park it up somewhere for a couple of days just in case it has, and wait for no one to pinch it. Are you going all the way round? No. Well, why did you still have your right hand indicator on, you buffoon? Right. No indicator there then. What would you expect? Cornflake packet driver again. Right, let's head back to the garage. Cup of coffee time. 10.3 miles on the bike, final test ride done. I did clean this earlier, now it's wet, I've got to clean it all down again and make it nice and give it a coat of the obligatory ACF 50. Make sure it's all anti-corrosion proofed. We're going to be shooting a video tomorrow, as I said, with Valentino Glossi. Sam is coming out. We're going to do a time lapse of him working on the 2 bikes, and you can see how good he is. He is booking about 3-4 months ahead, so we'll do a little advert, we'll do a little video for Valentino Glossi tomorrow and record everything. But ride test on Diablo all done. Runs as sweet as a nut. I'm going to grab a quick cup of coffee, out on a couple more bikes on test rides, and then home to Mrs. B to dry off and sit and watch a couple of YouTubes and get ready for the midweek mumble. So whatever you're doing, guys, have yourself a good one. As always, be well, ride safe, and from RB, it's a big goodbye from me. Stop recording.